Howdy all, welcome to Lex Lives. I think it's time we play a little Minecraft. Alright, so we're going to continue, I guess, exploring down here. I found myself a little mine shaft. No, you know, I think I was working with that last episode. I did a little bit more exploration, not a lot, but a little bit more. So it is something I'd like to continue doing, especially since I just got back and it's already pretty late, so I don't have a lot of time to prep a whole bunch for today. Not that I usually do that anyways, but yeah, I've got I'll tell you what, I got a story, family irritation story today, that's for sure. The new Blade Runner movie, which I'm a huge fan of the original Blade Runner, and so the new Blade Runner movie is coming out, right? And so it came out this week, and so I'm like, hey, I would love to go see that movie. And my sister says, ooh, I would like to go see that movie. And so I'm like, okay, well, what time are you working on Saturday? And she says, I will be done with work by noon. And I'm like, oh, well, the movie starts at 1:45. And she goes, oh, well, I don't think I'll actually be... I'm not actually done with work at noon now that you've given me a time. I actually won't be done with work until closer to 1. I'm like, okay, well, that makes it a bit tighter. I prefer to get to the movie before credits or before trailers are playing. Because A, I like to see the... Oh, gross, gross, gross. Because I like to see the upcoming movies. And you know, it's easier to find a seat when the lights are on than when the lights are off. So I'd prefer to you know, it's about 40 minutes or so to get to the theater. If you get here at 1, the movie starts at 1:45. It's gonna be cutting it close, but we could probably do it. Because she said she wanted to see the movie, and so she's like, well, there is a pumpkin festival going on at the nearby town, and so we were thinking of taking our kids to the pumpkin festival. I'm like, okay. And she's talking to her husband, and she's like, blah 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 stuff starts at 10, you know, whatever. And so, you know, what are you gonna do? He's like, I don't know, I'll think about it. And so I'm like, well, what about the 5 o'clock show then? She's like, well, you gotta ask my husband. And I'm like, okay, well, you're sitting at the same table as he is. He's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm like, have you seen the first one? Because this is a sequel to the first one. So if you haven't seen the first one, I don't know how... I mean, it's probably alright to watch the second one, not having seen the first one. I think enough of what's important is contained in this one to let you know what's going on in this one that comes from the first one, but there's just so much evil down through here. I don't want to go down here. I hate cave spiders. Just gonna seal y'all right off. We'll call that good. And so she says, "Oh, well, I will." He's like, I don't care. And I'm like, all right, well, then 5 o'clock. And then she's like, well, I don't know what time I'll be actually out of work tomorrow. You know, you started with telling me it was noon, and now we're at I don't know what time. Make up your freaking mind. And so so then she says, well, I'll text you once I've made a decision, and I will talk with him, and then we'll let you know. I'm like, okay. I don't get it. It's like he said it was okay. He said he didn't have a problem watching the kids while she went to the movie, but then she doesn't want to go when she has permission to go. So like, not permission, but like she's arranged what's going to happen with the kids so she can go, I guess is more what I mean by that. And so it's like, okay, well, there you go. He said he was fine with it. We can go at the 5 o'clock showing. And so, no text. No text at all. And so, I don't know. Next morning, I get up, I get ready, just in case we go. And I send her a text, and I say, hey, you know, if we're going to go to the 1:45 showing, which you said you didn't know if you could make or not, I need to know. And then she's like, well, I don't think I can make it to the 1:45. I'm like, okay, well, what about the 5 o'clock showing? And then she's like, well, I'm meeting my husband. I mean, they all live here. I'm meeting my husband at 1, and I'll discuss it with him then. I'm like, okay. So now that irritates me because I could go to the 1:45 showing myself, but now she's locked me into not being able to go to the 1:45 showing because I'm nice. And I'm thinking that she might want to go to this movie that she said she wanted to go to. So yeah, I was mildly irritated at that point. Mildly irritated. It wasn't until later that I got pretty irritated. Oh no, I am out of torches. Out of torches. Not out of torches. That's why I grabbed some coal. And so she doesn't text me back at 1. She texts me back closer to 2. And she says, oh, well, I just got out of work. And we've decided we're going to take the kids to the petting zoo. And so we can't make it to the 5 o'clock showing either. And she's like, would you want to go to the late show? And I'm like, thinking, no, I wanted to go to the 1:45 show, but you've made that impossible. And so then I send her a message back, and I'm like, yeah, we can go to the late show, I guess, if you want. I hate going to the late show. Evenings are when I wind down. Evenings aren't when I want to go out and do stuff. I like to get all my stuff done in the afternoon. This is not the afternoon. This is the tickets cost $16 time, not tickets cost $6 time. And so she comes home at 5, just after 5. And she says, so did you want to go to the late show? And I'm like, yeah, we can go if you want to. Well, you don't sound like you want to go. I'm like, well, we can if you want to. I'm fine with that. I think I texted her back that, no, that was fine. I'll just watch it later. And so she comes in at 5, and she's like, "You don't want to go to the late show?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, we can go to the late show." And I'm like, "But it's like 5 o'clock now. The late show starts at 8:15. We'd have to leave here shortly after 7, about 7:15. So you need to find out what's going on because I haven't eaten yet because I thought we were going out to this movie and I, thought we would eat out uh, and so you need to find out if he's doing dinner now, if I need to go make something to eat, so I have time to eat because it's after 5. It's like 5:30 at this point, and it takes time to get that stuff together and going. And a lot of times he's not ready with dinner until like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and that's too late since the show starts at 8:15. And she's like, "Well, we already ate." I'm like, "All right, well, is he doing dinner for us or what?" And she's like, "I think he is. I'll go find out and I'll let you know." And that's the last thing she said to me that I heard, because she does this thing where she walks off and starts mumbling to herself, and then believes that everyone in the universe has heard her say whatever it is she said. So I'm sitting in a room, and she starts walking down the hallway talking. I can't hear her. I told her I couldn't hear what she was saying while she was in the hallway, and so she thought that I heard her say that I'm pretty sure you're on your own for dinner. But the last thing I heard was, "Let me go check and I will let you know." And so she didn't come back. She didn't let me know. I will let you know, but I think you're on your own for dinner. It's not the same thing as, yeah, you're going to have to make your own dinner. That's a totally different animal. And so I'm sitting here, 6 o'clock, no word from her. 7 o'clock, I'm like, well, I guess we're not going then, since she said she wasn't sure if she was going or not yet. And she said she had to go take a nap. That's what she told me. And then she told me she was gonna go. And so what she actually did was she went and started watching Anne of Green Gables, the Netflix series, and so that's what she did instead of going to the movie that she told me she wanted to go to with me. And so then it's like 8:30. I still haven't freaking eaten yet. I am very not happy at this point. I'm also very lost at this point. Where am I and where's my home? This territory does not look familiar to me. Technically, I left from territory I wasn't that familiar with to begin with, so this could be a problem. I really need to mark down the coordinates for my home base. I'm lost in the woods. And so I go upstairs and I'm like, find her. Oh, there's my base. Hey, good thing I picked this direction and not the other direction to go wandering off into. So I knock on the door and they're like, "Come in." I open the door. She's sitting there with somebody else watching this Anne of Green Gables thing. And I'm like, "So I take it we're not going to the movie. Have you guys eaten dinner?" Yeah, you're on your own for dinner. Didn't I tell you that? I'm like, "No. You also didn't tell me we weren't going to the movie. I've been sitting there waiting." So I spent my entire Saturday waiting on her to decide whether or not we were going to watch this movie. Pretty sure that's the last time I ever ask. I'm just gonna go from now on. Honestly, it's like hanging out with my nieces and nephew. I'm tired of asking and cajoling for plans. Like, don't tell me you want to do something, and then when we get to the point where we're gonna actually do it, and then blow me off. I've repeatedly told them they do it to me all the time, and they're like, "We don't do that." Almost every time. You want to know why I didn't see Wonder Woman in the movie theater? It's because you blew me off. Uh, I totally went in there to get diamonds. I guess I got some levels. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to take the diamonds I have access to and see if I can get myself a fortune pick. I hate going the book route because it doesn't ever seem to work well for me. Okay, so we'll make a pick. Oh man, it's because they don't have enough sticks, but I do. So, yeah, the story's not over yet. And so I go to town and I get some dinner because it's 8:30. It's gonna take, that's mildly useful, but not quite what I need. And so I just run into town and get some dinner, and that was my last night. So then today is supposed to be family D&D day. Dang it. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to I think I picked up some redstone and lapis, which will break up into XP. Lapis, redstone. And so today's supposed to be family D&D, and so I was actually thinking, I ought to just go to the movie. Like, I ought to just leave while everybody's gone today and go to the movie and go watch it. And then that way when I get back, I can stop and get something to eat on the way home, and then when I get home, they'll be ready to play. But I was tired. I was very tired, and so instead I took a nap. We got up, we did our morning stuff, and then I came home and took a nap. And so I woke up for family dinner. The brother-in-law said, yeah, it's gonna be about 30 minutes before I'm ready to play. I'm like, okay, whatever. We usually don't get started till late anyways, half the time. I assume it's because he wanted to watch his soccer game or whatever. And so then we're down here, and it's like almost 4 o'clock. Now remember the movie starts at 1:45, so I already missed that one because I slept. And then the next showing is at 5, which means we need to leave about 4. And so apparently she had spoken with him. She didn't say anything to me, so I'm sitting here waiting for them to come down to play D&D. And she'd come down and was sitting here, and then he comes down, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to play D&D yet. I'm not feeling well." And she's like, "Well, we might just go see that movie then." I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, we'll just go see that movie if he doesn't feel well enough to play D&D." He's like, "Well, he might feel better in an hour." And I'm like, "No, you don't understand. The movie plays at 5. We need to leave now, so you have to make a decision now on whether or not you want to play D&D. There's no him and hawing again like yesterday. Make up your minds whether you're playing D&D or we're not. Decide now." Because my decision was to play. That's why I've got a pile of papers I put together last night for our session today. So he decided that he wasn't sure, and we should just go to the movie. And so we went to the movie. So I went and saw Blade Runner 2049 today. It was all right. I enjoyed it. I think I'll enjoy it better as a Blu-ray than I did sitting in the movie theater. It's really long, like 2 hours and 45 minutes or thereabouts, and there are way too many scenes in it um, of cars flying because they have flying cars, and which makes me question why they have flying cars. Like, they have flying vehicles that wheels come out of, but you never see them driving in the movie. They're always flying or landing. So, and since they're VTOL craft, right, vertical takeoff, they don't require a runway or anything. They just go straight up and land straight down. So why even do they have tires? Anyways, that's not a thing. But it was pretty good. About 40 minutes too much of flying cars, I think. There was a lot of slow scenes of flying cars in that movie. There probably isn't 40 minutes worth, but it felt like it. Um, there are some weird scenes in it that don't fit the movie. There's some scenes that are really good, and some scenes that, like I said, I I'm gonna. It's a spoiler, but I gotta talk about this one scene. It makes no sense to me. So they're in their car, and they're flying, and they're going out to this place. See, I don't even have to spoil it too much. They're going out to a place. That happens a lot. But as they're flying along, people start shooting at the car. Now, there isn't any reason for them to shoot at the car. I don't understand why they shoot at the car. Nothing comes out of that scene. There's no callback to that scene. Maybe it was to show the hey, I think there's a town over there. Stop trying to run from me, pigs. I'm gonna go explore this town. I may have already explored this town. But they shoot him down out of the sky, and then they shoot those people. And then they just get up, dust himself off, and go on about his business that he was flying to in the first place. So there's literally no point to that scene. Unless they were just doing it to show one of the bad guys killing massive amounts of people. But still, wasn't necessary to the story of the show. Hey, you guys might want to go inside. There's things coming. And, hey now. Hey now. Dude, you gonna get inside? Or you just gonna... Hey. Ooh, look, you got crafting bench. Oh, but I only got 2 pieces of wool, man. Maybe someday I'll want to come back and do some trading. Oh, there's nothing in here. Maybe I was already here. And so, you know, I mean, that scene probably took 10 minutes at least to go through. That was 10 more minutes of that movie you could have shaved off that was too long. I think they were going for like this big artistic feel. Like the first one kind of has this big artistic feel to it. And so I assume that's what they were aiming for. But, you know, it just... I enjoyed the other scenes though. It had an alright storyline. I kind of enjoyed. There weren't any great moments though. Like there's no great scene of quotes like you get from the first movie. In fact, there's barely any dialogue in a lot of the scenes, so a lot of standing around, a lot of looking at snow. Um, I don't know. Like I said, they went a little too artistic with it, I think. Where is my home base? I got turned all around in that town, and now I don't know. Ooh, ooh, ooh! Don't eat that. That's bad for you. See that place there? It looks like it's lit up, so I probably lit that up, which means home is that way, right? Yeah, I'm gonna assume that's what that means. Either it is or it isn't, but I think it is. I gotta stop wandering off without a compass. Oh, I thought that was a skeleton, but it's actually a birch tree. I didn't want to be caught in the water with a skeleton shooting at me, because it's really, really difficult to get past skeletons in the water. You guys see my home? I'm lost again, because I didn't pay attention. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here. And that way I can take my time to find my way home. Maybe find some place to... Okay, that is lava pouring out of a thing. This is definitely not my home. It's cool looking though. I was going to see if the lava was down or if it's just starting to pour down. Because maybe this is territory I've been to. Oh yeah, I've definitely been here because here's some chicken. No, that was chicken from... But there was a skeleton there too, so... Maybe that just killed him? I don't know. Anyways, like if you like, subscribe, catch the next one. I will talk to you later.